Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stats podcast. For today, we're going over UFC 286, Edwards versus Usman. First things first, make sure you give that video a like, hit the subscribe button, give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there is social media. There is the Stats and Stacks podcast. First things first, the lock streak has continued. Both our locks hit again last week. Marcus Williams scared us, but he got the job done. Both of our totals hit. That's usually where I struggle. The totals both hit, and Martinez hit as a dog, and somehow got screwed. Man, that was tough. It should have been a clean sweep in regards to bets. But the whole stand up and it was just a mess. I would have much rather he kept the position than get a point and stand back up. So that one hurt a little, but God, Josh Frem by sub came through at like plus 1300, and that one made it feel all of the rest of the night was okay. The rest was just extra. So we are in a big winning streak. The winning streak continues. I keep throwing out these like three or four glory plays, and one of them keep hitting, and it makes my whole night. So it's pretty nice. So at the end of the day, we have some interesting ones here, some technical difficulties, a lot going on a personal level this week. So we're going to look a little different. We're not going to go tapology. We're not going to have all of the official stats. We're going to go off of a lot of memory. All of the fight tape was done. All the stats were looked at. I just don't have everything with me. And we also, again, without that, I don't really want to go into all those odds and tapology. So we're going to go old school. We're just going to use ESPN. It's the easiest. It gives you some nice visuals, and we'll go about our day. Good thing is it's a pay-per-view, so you're going to know most of these people. You're going to know how most of them fight. Nothing has changed. As long as you did fight tape and you know the fighters, you are good to go. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this. Again, I apologize for how different it is. We don't really have totals here either, just the odds, but that's okay. We'll make do with what we have. So first fight of the night, I'm okay with not having everything because it's trash. We have Juliana Miller at 4-1 coming in against Veronica Hardy at 6-4-1. Veronica Hardy just changed her name because she married Dan Hardy. It was Macedo or something like that. We have Juliana Miller as a plus side, minus 440. Veronica Hardy is a plus 350 dog. Again, I don't know the over under. I can't recall. I want to say it's 2.5, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, Veronica Hardy, she's weird, man. We haven't seen her in years. She was very young when she came into the UFC. She had a nice win over Polyana Viana via armbar, which aged well. All the rest of her stuff, not so much. Her striking's okay. It's not terrible, but she throws everything she has into every single shot. And she's one of the only girls I know that gas in like a lighter weight class, and she will flat out gas. She has nothing left. That Bia Malecki fight was one of the worst fight tapes I've ever done. That fight was god awful. Granted, it was up at 135, so she's back at 125 again. We haven't seen her in years. She's only 27 now, I believe. So it's going to be interesting here. On the flip side, Juliana Miller is also pretty young. I want to say she's 26, but she's only 4-1. She's the A side here because everyone knows her from the Ultimate Fighter. This is her first fight in the UFC after winning the Ultimate Fighter competition. All in all, she's not a good striker, actually. She's very hittable, not good, very robotic on the feet. She's just very durable, and she continues to march forward even when you hit her with the kitchen sink. Her jiu-jitsu is pretty legit. I know she trains over at 10th Planet, which is a pretty nice camp in reference to just your overall ground game. Her wrestling's trash. So in all honesty, all she does is let you beat the hell out of her. She's a human punching bag. When you get tired from hitting her, she will just out grapple you and then try to put you away. That's all she does. It's very interesting. She does a rope a dope and then tries to tap you out. On the flip side, again, Veronica Hardy, the previously known as Veronica Masato, all she does is swing as hard as she physically can and try to put you out. So this is tailor made for Juliana Miller. It's just she's 4-1. She's very young and she's not very good. So would I ever lay minus 440 with her? Absolutely not. Am I going to take the over? Probably. But again, Veronica tapped out Polyana Viana, which is not easy, and she does hit decently hard. So honestly, I don't want to pick either one of these girls. The very first fight is a stay away fight. If anything, it's a sheer dog or pass, but Veronica's trash. Know what you're getting yourself into. Veronica is not good, but if you want to bet Juliana at minus 440, know what you're getting yourself into. She is not good. Stay the hell away from this fight. Next fight of the night. God. Next fight of the night is one that concerns me. I really, really, really like Ludovic Klein here. I think he should go out there and absolutely crush. The issue with him is his volume, man. He's a very, very, very good striker. He will mix in wrestling, which is super nice. And he has some timely. He does them just to steal rounds. I know his fight against Mike Trezano, he did it repeatedly, and the judges didn't reward that, so I don't like that. I don't like having locks that don't throw a lot. I need them to have a little bit of volume. It does concern me a ton how little he throws, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, he's the better striker. He's going to have a little bit of a height and reach disadvantage here. Five by a little, I mean basically 5 inches. Not a fan of that. But he hits very, very hard. On the flip side, Jay Herbert's a main training partner for Leon Rocky Edwards, and he fights exactly like him. He's very long, very good striking. His takedown defense is not Rocky's, though. He's rocking like a 55% takedown defense. And he also doesn't throw a ton. So he has lower volume. So the biggest thing with him is that he's 12-4, and almost all four of his losses are by knockout. He has zero chin. He does not have it. Ilya Tapora came out and like killed him, and Tapora is a 45-pounder, so that's not a good look. And Taporia did that to him in London, and that's where this fight card is. So yes, he's going to have a hometown advantage here, but that's the thing that scares me probably the most with Klein. If Klein doesn't put him away, with them both being low volume, the crowd may kind of sway it a little. Doing fight tape, Jai Herbert seems real hesitant fighting Kyle Nelson after getting smoked a million times. Looks like he just doesn't want to get hit at all. He's not going to want to get into a brawl. So what does he do? He can't take down Klein. Klein's cardio, I've seen it look very bad and I've seen it look very good. So I don't really know which version we're going to get. I don't know, man. This is a weird fight, but again, Klein's the better wrestler. He's on paper the better striker. He's just at a reach disadvantage and a hometown disadvantage. But that may not matter if he clips Jai once because Jai has zero chin and Klein has the fastest and hardest head kick I've ever seen in MMA. So the pick is going to be Klein. The bet's going to be Klein. I'm probably going to have to end up locking Klein. He's probably going to knock him out, to be honest with you. I'd probably take Klein by KO. But if you just want to run the money line, it's not too bad. Again, minus 190 isn't the worst line. So you could just take Klein straight up. Next fight of the night is another sketchy one, man. There's a lot of sketchy fights on this card because of these lines. We have Joanne Wood going up against Luana Carolina. Carolina is a plus 160 dog, while JoJo is a minus 190 favorite. Let's start with Carolina because she's looking to get some retribution in London. The last time she was there, she got spinning back elbowed to hell from Molly Meatball McCann in a fight where she was looking okay. Molly went out there and absolutely killed her round one. 10-8 for sure. Round two, it could have went either way. I think Luana might have got it, to be honest with you. And round three was very competitive up until that spinning back elbow. So Luana's a little underrated. She hasn't beat anyone good. The best person she beat was Lupi Godinez, but Lupi took the fight on literally like 6 days' notice up a weight class. So I don't know how much weight that holds. Otherwise, Luana doesn't have any good wins. Lipsky tapped her out pretty easily with a knee bar. She had pretty low fight IQ there. So Luana, all in all, is just a pretty decent striker. She'll have a big reach advantage here as well, which is big because JoJo is a striker. Joanne Wood is 37 years old and has not looked good. She's on the definite decline. But in retrospect, you also have to look at level of competition. Yes, she's declining, but is part of why she looks so bad because of who she's fighting. Because I mean, her last loss was to Alexa Grasso, who's the current champ. Before that, she lost to Tyler Santos, who basically beat the champ before that, who is the uncrowned champ. Who did she lose to before that? God, her last one was against Lauren Murphy. I know that was a split. JoJo's fighting nothing but title challengers, and she's getting absolutely murked. But again, she's fighting title challengers and current champions. So I don't know, man. Level of competition. One is fighting Molly Meatball McCann and Ariana Lipsky. The other one is fighting Tyler Santos and Alexa Grasso. So there's levels to this shit. I will say that the crowd will also be in JoJo's favor. So that's another big thing we want to see here. I mean, Scotland is pretty, I mean, it's a part of the, oh God, my geography. Part of the UK, United Nations. God, United Kingdom. I don't know. She's the hometown girl here. She's the better striker. She's just gonna be at some physical disadvantages, but the last one I took the person with, with less physical disadvantages, and I'm gonna do it again here. I'm gonna take JoJo Wood, but I don't feel good about it at all. Like it doesn't feel great. She's definitely the A side, but God, this is gonna be a lot greasier than the line shows. Next fight of the night, you want to talk about Greece is going to be the glory play of the night. We have Malcolm Gordon going up against Jake Hadley. Hadley is a minus 400 favorite, while Gordon coming back at plus 310. Let's start with Hadley. His striking's good. He's a very good boxer. It's a very heavy boxing base. His jiu-jitsu is world class. He has a very, very, very good ground game. His wrestling, not so much. His wrestling's not the greatest. That's a concern. His volume, it looked low in his first fight. He landed something like 8 significant strikes in an entirety of 15 minutes in his first fight. And then his next fight, he went out there and put up just a ton of volume and then got the finish in the second. Again, Caldelario is a very good fighter. I think he's underrated, but Hadley just kind of had his number that day. It was a close fight, but Caldelario always gasses, and Hadley's gas tank was fine, and he took advantage of him, and he just finished him late in the second. On the flip side, Malcolm Gordon, when you talk about jujitsu, Malcolm Gordon's is just as good as Jake Hadley's. It's the same thing. It's a wash. When it comes to wrestling, Malcolm Gordon is a much better wrestler than Jake Hadley. I'll tell you that. When it comes to striking, Malcolm Gordon's striking's not that bad. I will give advantage to Jake, but Malcolm's isn't terrible. Problem with Malcolm Gordon is that he might have the worst chin in MMA. Like between him and Jason Witt, I don't think there's anyone worse. Like this guy's getting knocked out by jabs left and right. Like all of his losses are by knockout. He cannot get hit. He doesn't have any good wins in the UFC. I mean, he beat Little Figgy. Like Little Figgy is not good whatsoever. And then he beat Dennis Bondar, but Dennis Bondar was one, making his debut, two, broke his arm in the middle of the fight. He looked fine before then, but yeah, those are two sketchy wins. But his losses, I mean, to Mariah, God, he's later on in the card. Muhammad Makayev. Gosh, what am I saying? All right, Muhammad Makayev is just an absolute stud. He got sacrificed. Sumaderji's pretty good. I know he got starched pretty quickly. I can't even remember who the other guy he was that lost to. Whatever. I guess that's why I use Tapology. But at the end of the day, I think he's a good fighter. He just has zero chin. His cardio, he can slow a little bit, but it is what it is. Here's the glory play. I think Malcolm Gordon wins this fight, and I think he wins it by decision. I know Jake Hadley is the guy that everyone is going to be rooting for. He's the minus 400 favorite in his home country. Jake Hadley should win this fight. He's probably the better boxer. Jiu-jitsu is a total wash. So if one guy is better on the feet, the other guy is the ground game is a tie, you would probably usually take the better striker. Here's the problem. I don't trust Malcolm Gordon's chin, but neither does Malcolm Gordon. And he has been wrestling a shit ton. When he fought Francisco, he didn't even try to strike. He just took him down left and right. When he fought Makayev, he didn't get a chance because Makayev is a better wrestler. But when it was just a grappling exchange, that fight was very competitive. I think Makayev was up and eventually got the finish. But that fight was competitive. And I saw Jake Hadley get taken down by Alan Nascimento multiple times. That's not a good look. Alan Nascimento can't wrestle to save his life. I think Nascimento's an okay striker. I think he's a whiz on the ground. I think he's phenomenal on the ground. But he can't get it there because he can't wrestle. But he got Jake Hadley down. Other UFC fight, contender series, he fought Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo took the fight on short notice. You know who took Jake Hadley down? Mitch Raposo. You look at his last win against Carlos Candelario. Candelario is an okay wrestler, but he took Jake down pretty easily. There wasn't a lot of resistance. Jake doesn't have good takedown defense. And I think if Malcolm continues to do his wrestling thing, I think he can take down Jake. And you know what? I think he's good enough on the ground to stay safe. I know Candelario, I thought the same thing. They were both black belts, but Gordon is legit on the ground. And it took Makayev like 14 minutes to get him out of there. I don't think Jake does it early. So the pick is going to be Malcolm. The bet's going to be Malcolm by decision at good money. I think he can pull this off. Next fight of the night is one that scares me. There's so many scary fights because they're just trying to promote all of these English guys, and honestly, some of them are just not that good or they're unproven. So, speaking of the constant theme here, we have Dusko Todorovic as a plus 175 dog going up against Christian Leroy Duncan as a minus 210 favorite. Christian making his debut, man, in the UFC off of Cage Warriors. He's okay. He's a good striker. He's very explosive. He's good. His jujitsu, it's all right. His grappling, I mean, he does get taken down a ton. He's a very good get up game. Obviously, he's undefeated. He hasn't been tapped out. He has an extensive um amateur career. He has like 25 amateur fights, so he has a lot more experience and he's leading on. He's still younger though. I want to say he's like 26, 27 years old. He's not too old. His striking again is very, very explosive. He hits very, very hard. And it's very creative. A lot of switch kicks and spinning back kicks. Like he is great on the feet. It's just I don't like his takedown defense. If anyone can wrestle, he's in a little bit of a trouble. Good news is he's fighting Dusko Todorovic, who's a generalist. He can wrestle. He can probably take down Christian Duncan. I don't think he's going to tap him out. And Dusko does enjoy striking the most. It's just he's someone that got knocked out by Puna Soriano. He got knocked out by Chidi, and all of a sudden he decided, I don't really have a chin. I don't want to do this anymore. So when he fought Jordan Wright, he wrestled. He wrestled Jordan Wright, got him tired, and then went ahead and went for the kill. He can't do that to Christian Duncan because Christian Duncan doesn't get tired. Dusko does. And Dusko, I do think he's UFC caliber, but I think he's at the very bottom of the barrel, and he's going to be the one that they continually give newcomers to see if they are UFC level. He's going to turn some of them away, but I don't think Christian Duncan is that dude, especially in his hometown on his debut. He's going to come out explosive. He may make a few mistakes. Good news is he has good cardio. He can learn from it, and he can keep going and eventually catch Dusko. So the pick is going to be Christian. The bet is going to be Christian. I don't feel good about it at all, but I cannot take Dusko in his chin, especially if I'm leaning on him to wrestle the entire time because his gas tank is a little suspect as well. On the flip side, next fight is a very good one. We have Lerone Murphy at 11-0-1 as a minus 180 favorite going up against Gabriel Santos as 10-0 as a plus 155 underdog. Let's start with Gabriel Santos because he's not bad. He's a pretty decent fighter. He's new. It's going to be his UFC debut. He is taking the fight on short notice. Not the biggest fan there. He's a pretty good striker. He's a very good jiu-jitsu practitioner. His wrestling's all right. He's fought some UFC level guys like Elves Brenner, the guy that just beat Zahir Tahugov. I mean, all in all, I think the kid's good. He's pretty good. He's pretty young. I liked his fight tape a lot. I had no idea who he was going into fight tape, and I left impressed. I do like Gabriel Santos. I do think he's UFC level. I do think he'll get UFC wins. Issue is he's fighting Lerone Murphy, who is also UFC level, but I think Lerone Murphy is like top 10 level. He's very, very good for this weight class. He's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage here. Both of these guys like to strike. Lerone scares me with his takedown defense. It's not very good. A lot of people have taken him down. McQuan took him down like 5 times in one round. Ricardo Ramos took him down. Everyone he fights, Tahugov took him down. Like everyone he fights takes him down multiple times. It's not very good. He's a good get up game. He'll get right the fuck back up, but he gets taken down a little too easily for my liking. Outside of that, when he does get back up to his feet, his striking's very good and he hits extremely hard. He is undefeated for a reason. He has good cardio. He'll keep going for days. I like everything about the kid. So I like both these guys. My only concern is that Gabriel's taking this on short notice, and I have seen him hurt in the past. I haven't really seen Lerone hurt. He's usually the one hurting people. So at that juncture, I am probably going to favor with the UFC vet in his hometown. He's a little low volume. I'm not a fan there. You can even see here 2.5 significant strikes landed per minute. That is not a good number. But part of that is he's knocking people out every time he touches them. So, and everyone's trying to wrestle him because they're scared of his stand up. So it's kind of hard to have a high strikes per significant strike per minute if you're always on your back because people are wrestling you nonstop. So the pick is going to be Lerone Murphy. The bet's going to end up being Lerone Murphy. Next fight of the night is an interesting one, man. This line isn't right. We have Rafael Filo as a plus 600 dog going up against Muhammad Makayev as a minus 900 favorite. I want to say the over under was set at 2.5, but again, I don't see it here. Let's start with Filo because Filo's good, man. He won me money on the Dana White Contender Series. He went in there as a favorite, got the job done. He's pretty decent striking, decent power, really good jujitsu. He has a backpack to where when he slaps it on, it's Aljamain Sterling style, and you're not going anywhere. His wrestling's all right. It's not the greatest. I'd like to see a little better for how good his jujitsu is. His level of competition's all right. Again, it's not the greatest there either. But you see everything. When you do his fight tape, you can see that he's a real fighter and he's a good fighter. He's good everywhere. Okay wrestling, okay striking, but packs a punch. Very good on the ground. On the flip side, we have Makayev, who's a young kid. I think he's 22 now. His wrestling's top notch. It might be the best wrestling in the weight class. It's very, very good. He's a very good wrestler. His jujitsu also top notch. He's a very good jujitsu practitioner. His striking, it's all right. It's very flashy. Not a lot of substance. You don't see this guy throwing many leg kicks or digging into the body. You're just seeing a lot of flying knees and spinning back kicks. He's just kind of showing off. He's a 22-year-old kid and he fights like it. He's trying to get the crowd involved, throwing everything with a ton of movement. I mean, at the end of the day, he throws all this flashy stuff to try to get a really cool knockout, realizes it's not going to work. He gets clipped one time and then he goes into wrestle mode and he starts wrestling you. And when he starts wrestling you, no one can seem to stop him. And Fila, one of his losses did come by knockout. The other one was because he got out grappled. So this is kind of tailor made for Makayev. Again, I think the lines are off. No one knows who Filo is. He's actually a very good fighter. He's actually going to get some UFC wins, just not against a young phenom in Makayev. So the pick is going to be Muhammad. The bet is going to be God. I don't know if you want to touch the over under. You can't bet him at minus 900, but I don't know if he gets to finish. I know he tries to finish every single fight. I don't think he does here. So I'd probably do Muhammad by decision or just take the over. Next fight of the night is more grease, man. We have Sam Patterson as a minus 280 favorite going up against Yanal Asmos as a plus 230 dog. Um, I don't know, man. Let's start with Sam Patterson because I don't think he's that good, man. He's an okay striker, but he has tall man's defense, and you can clip this guy. I believe his one career loss, he got finished as well. In regards to his wrestling, it's not the greatest. He'll attempt some body locks since he's so goddamn tall. I mean, he's 6'3" lightweight. He's tall, he's lanky, he's skinny, and he tries to use it to his advantage. His wrestling's just okay. His jiu-jitsu, it's all right. He's only a purple belt. Most of his wins, I think, are by sub. But he's one of these real skinny, like Saeed Nurmagomedov looking guys where he just has such long, skinny arms. So slap in chokes everywhere, just darces and guillotines and anacondas. Anything where he can just kind of strangle you, he's willing to do. And he's very good at it. Those skinny arms, although they don't always pack a ton of power, they're great for submissions. On the flip side, he's good, man. He's coming to us from the contenders, or not contender series, from the PFL series. So that's a little different. Usually it's contender series or a regional scene. It's coming from the PFL. Last guy that did that was that Loic guy who came out here and got a W over a debuting fighter. I think we might see it again. I don't think is very good. His wrestling's all right. He trains with some Russian killers on the wrestling scene, but his wrestling itself is just okay. His striking, it's all right. It's not the greatest. It's okay. He's going to be at a height and reach disadvantage here. Everything about him says that Sam Patterson should win, but again, he's gritty. His jiu-jitsu's okay, enough to stay safe against Sam, I hope. He does put his head into guillotines at times where I saw it in fight tape, so he does have to be careful there. Outside of that, he's probably the better wrestler. The striking's probably a wash. I think Sam can get away with his tall man defense in a matchup like this, but he's got to mind his P's and Q's because this again, all kids undefeated for a reason. He's not good, like he's not great anywhere, but he's okay and he understands what he's doing and he has a decent amount of experience. So I think this line is way off. Again, I understand Sam is a hometown kid, but I think the kids from Britain are going to struggle this night. And I think it's just not going to be that fun of a night for some of them. So the pick is going to be the bet's going to be all off of sheer value, man. This line is off. He should not be plus 230. At the most, he should be like plus 150. So you're getting a discount. So take the shot. Next fight of the night is the hardest one to deal with, and it's the closest line fight. We have minus 105 for Chris Duncan. We have Omar Morales at minus 115. Let's start with Chris because I think he sucks. I don't think Chris is very good. He's a definition of a glass cannon. We just have a lightweight Jordan right here. He goes in, he brawls. If he clips you, you're going out because he hits like an absolute truck. If you clip him, he's going out because he has no chin. Wrestling, I've seen him shoot some takedowns, but it doesn't look pretty. He's going to be the hometown kid here, being from Scotland. He's a Dana White Contender Series alum, and he's the reason he got a UFC contract is because he won. Because one, he was an underdog. Two, he got clipped, and as he was basically out on his feet, threw a straight right and put the other guy out. I want to say his name was Charlie Ward. So at that juncture, Dana was impressed with the comeback win. But why did he have to come back? Like, why was he getting murdered on the feet? You can't trust that this guy is going to get rocked and then come back and win. Like, I don't trust that at all. His other loss, again, he's 9-1, so his actual loss came on the Contender Series, and it came to Slava Claus, who put him out, put him away. So, yeah, I don't know about this. On the flip side, Omar Morales, he's 37 years old, so I don't really want to trust him. He's generally pretty durable, but he did get knocked out from his last fight. He's on a little bit of a skid here. He's gone down to featherweight, coming back up to lightweight. There's a lot of stuff he's trying to do to hold on to his career because he knows at 37 he's starting to fade. He has a huge ground game advantage, but he doesn't tend to wrestle. He's not the greatest wrestler and doesn't always try to. His last few fights, he hasn't even attempted a takedown. I mean, striking's fine. Don't get me wrong. He hits decently hard per his regional scene. UFC, we haven't really seen it translate. But I don't know how hard you have to hit to put Chris Duncan out. So this fight is just volatile, and the line shows it. It's basically a pick 'em. So at this point, I'm gonna take the experienced guy at 37. I'm gonna pick Omar. But as a bet, I'm probably just betting the under 1.5. I know that's where it's lined, and that's probably what I'm gonna take because I don't trust either one of their chins right now. The 37-year-old or the glass cannon. How about neither? And we just take the under and hope that someone dies. Not dies, but that someone gets put to sleep. So that's probably the route I'm going to go. Pick Omar, bet under. Next fight of the night, we have more sketchiness. Jack Shore from Wales going up against Makwan Americani from Finland. We have Shore as a minus 500 favorite with comeback on Makwan at plus 380. Uh, let's start with Makwan. He's someone I like, man. I'm probably the only one I know that likes Makwan Americani. He's a very good wrestler. Like he is top notch in the division of wrestling. He also has a serious choke series. Like he's Anaconda, Darce, any guillotine. If he's around your neck, he's putting you out. We saw him do it to Mike Grundy. We saw him do it to Danny Henry. Like he's very, very good when it comes to wrestling. And when it comes to just slapping on chokes, like he is phenomenal. We saw him fight the likes of Shane Burgos. We saw him fight Edson Barbosa. Like he's fought some good guys in the division. He's came up short. And you know what? The crazy thing is, he usually wins some of these rounds. It was competitive against Edson. Shane Burgos, he was winning the fight. He won rounds 1 and 2. Problem with McQuan is his cardio. God, he has no cardio. I mean, his last fight against JSP, he gassed out in the first round. Like the guy has zero cardio. He has all the wrestling in the world, all the jiu-jitsu in the world, no cardio to back it up. On the flip side, Jack Shore has a ton of cardio. He's a very, very, very fit guy. Good striking, very good wrestling, very good jiu-jitsu. I know he's coming off his first ever career loss. That part doesn't really concern me. My concern is that he's going up to 145. McQuan's 2 inches taller. McQuan's going to have a reach advantage. McQuan's good. He's going to bully him. He's going to be a lot bigger. But Jack Shore is definitely the more talented fighter. I would say that he's just as good of a wrestler. If anyone has a wrestling edge, I'd go McQuan, but I think this is about tied or close enough. Striking edge, McQuan throws nothing. He averages, oh my God, 1.35 significant strikes per minute. He literally doesn't throw. He throws like he's kind of like Makayev, where he just throws flying knees or spinning back fists. That's about it. Not a ton of volume, like nothing. Some of the lowest I've ever seen. Jack Shore is by far the better striker. He will win the striking exchanges. And on the ground, I think it's a wash, man. I think Jack Shore is very good on the ground. I think McQuan's very good on the ground. I don't see them tapping each other out. So I think this thing is going to come down to cardio, and it's going to come down to size. Is McQuan so big? He probably wins round one. Can he continue to bully him for the next two rounds because he's so much bigger, or will he try to bully him in round one, gas himself out, and Jack Shore take over in rounds two and three? I don't know. And I don't want to bet it. The only way I'm betting this fight is one, either going over, taking the over, or betting Jack Shore live. McQuan's probably going to win the first round. Like, period. He always wins the first round. After he wins the first round, you can get a better line on Jack, and then I'll probably bet it. So he's minus 500 now. So we'll see what that line drops to. It may still only be like, it drop from minus 500 to minus 190 or something. But at that point, I'm probably still taking that at Jack Shore. So the pick is going to be Jack. The bet is going to be Jack, but I'm going to watch this. I'm going to live bet it. That's the way to approach this fight. Next fight of the night is one that excites me, man. We have Roman Dolidze. Do you want me to submit him? Mr. Georgia himself going up against Marvin, the Italian Dream Vittori. Marvin is 18-6-1. Meanwhile, Roman Dolidze is 12-1. Roman, honestly, I think he's undefeated. His one loss was to Trevin Giles, and I thought that was real sketchy. I thought he won that fight. Roman is phenomenal on the ground. He is a wizard on the ground. He has very, very quick hips. He just transitions into a different submission. He'll go for your leg, then he'll go for a triangle, then he'll go for an arm bar. And he's so freakishly strong that he'll literally do his sweeps in slow motion, but you can't stop it because he's so much stronger than you. He is a whiz on the ground. On the feet, he hits like a truck. He hits so hard. He doesn't throw a ton. Again, 2.62 significant strikes per minute is not good. His cardio is not good. He won't completely gas on you, but he will slow down and you'll be able to consider it and see it. His wrestling, he could be better. It's not the worst wrestling I've ever seen, but it's not exactly good. Like, I don't think he's taken down Marvin Vittori. So how does he win this fight? He's gonna have to knock him out, or he's gonna have to let Marvin take him down and submit him from there. Which we've seen. Jack Hermanson took him down. He never took down Jack. Jack took him down. He swept him and then he finished him. So is Marvin gonna take him down? I don't know. I have no idea. Marvin's not exactly great anywhere either. He's just kind of a generalist. His jiu-jitsu's all right. His wrestling's pretty decent, I guess. But the issue is there's not a lot of good wrestlers at middleweight. I mean, you have Derek Brunson, but he has no cardio. You have Robert Whitaker, but he prefers to strike. Who are the wrestlers at middleweight? Kamzat now because he can't make 170. Bo Nickel now that he's there. But outside of that, like, you can name what, 5 wrestlers, and that's it. Like, not a lot of people wrestle at this weight class, so Marvin's looks better than it really is. It's okay. He originally was a striker, and his striking's not bad either. I think Marvin's probably the better striker. Roman just hits harder, but Marvin's never been knocked out. It might be impossible to knock out Marvin, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong. He's there to get hit. Does not move his head. He hits a brick fucking head and just sits there and eats them and continues to march forward. He continues to pressure. Roman fights better when he's not going off his back foot, and that's another way to gas you out, is to push you backwards. So I don't know if Marvin's going to shoot a takedown. I think he's going to just go forward, pressure, try to eat shots, and then wear down Roman. But Roman hits so goddamn hard that's a scary game plan. What one of those could put you out. Anyone can get knocked out by Roman to lead. So at that juncture, I'm going to take Marvin to win. I think he has more routes to win. But Roman's definitely the bet at plus 230. Like, that seems just like too much value on Roman, because if it goes to the ground, I got Roman all day. If it stays on the feet, I think Vittori has the volume, but Roman has the hard shot. So, uh, yeah, pick is going to be Marvin. Bet's going to be Roman. Next fight of the night, we have Jennifer Maya as a plus 150 dog going up against Casey O'Neill, minus 175. Um, yeah, man, I don't think Casey's very good. I think they try to push her because of her looks. I think she looked good against Antonina. I think she looked absolutely terrible against Roxanne Modafferi. I know she wanted to strike and prove that she can do it all, I don't know if she can strike. It didn't look very good. she she won a split decision over a retiring Roxanne. I don't think it should have been a split. I thought Casey definitively won 2 out of 3 rounds, but I also thought she lost a round to Roxanne Modafferi on the feet. So that's very, very concerning to me. She strikes kind of slow and robotic. You see her getting better, but her bread and butter is her ground game, man. Her jujitsu's top notch, and her wrestling's not good. Her wrestling sucks, actually. It's not good at all, but she does not stop going forward. She pressures and pressures and pressures. Now, she is undefeated on the regional and the amateur scene. She does have 2 losses, and they're both by knockout. So she might be low key chinny. But Jennifer Maya doesn't hit that hard, so she should be fine in this matchup. She's going to go forward, press forward, and pressure until Jennifer Maya breaks. That's what she's going to try to do. She is coming off an ACL surgery, so make sure you stay cognizant of that as someone that's going to need to continually wrestle without a leg. So if her leg is at all compromised and she has to strike with Maya, I think she's in some trouble because Maya's the better striker. Maya has fought the better girls fighting JoJo Wood. That was another one that she tapped out or got tapped out by. She tapped out JoJo Wood. She fought for the title against Valentina. She fought Jessica I. She fought Caitlin Chukagian. Like she's fighting the best girls in the division. Her ground game's good. Her ground game's real good, but so is Casey's. So if you want to say it's a wash, you can, but I think Maya might be a little better on the ground. It's just she can't wrestle. She can't wrestle at all. Before she's never taken any shots. She did in her last fight or the fight before that. She did shoot a takedown. But she didn't get it. She's not a good wrestler. She can't. That's why she doesn't shoot them because she can't wrestle. So she's one of these jujitsu practitioners that are good on the feet and they're forced to strike or hope you end up on the ground. Casey's going to put her on the ground. Like Casey does not want to just stand and bang with her. She's going to take her down. And I think you're going into Jennifer Maya's wheelhouse. I know Casey's very good down there too, but she's young, coming off of surgery. I think I'm going to take Maya as the dog here. I've gone back and forth. I've looked at Casey by decision, and I've looked at Maya just as the dog. I've gone back and forth every day. I change, but right now I'm going to go and I'm going to lead with the dog here. If I'm having that much issue with it, I might as well take the plus money. So the pick is going to be I'll pick Casey, but I'm not betting her. I would bet Jennifer Maya at the dog money. That's where the value is. The next fight should be a pretty easy one here. We have Gunnar Nelson going up against Brian Barberina. Nelson a minus 370 favorite, while Barberina has a plus 290 dog status. At the end of the day, Gunnar Nelson is phenomenal on the ground. His wrestling's okay. Only takedown I've ever seen him get was a double, but he just waits and he times it. He has a karate stance to where he's very low volume. Um, like you see 1.83 significant strikes per minute. It's a very low number, especially compared to Brian, where he's at almost 6. So almost a 5 strike difference there. That's not a good look. But Gunnar Nelson's extremely hard to hit. So Brian can throw all he wants. He's going to have to hit him. And when Brian throws a ton or is first forced to wrestle, he does slow down a little in fights. We saw it in the Jason Witt fight. We saw it in the Darian Weeks fight. We saw it in the Matt Brown fight. When he wrestles, he does get tired. Gunnar Nelson, his cardio seems perfectly fine. Brian, I don't know who's better on the feet. They're such different styles. If anything, I guess you can say Bam Bam can narrow them by a little bit. But Brian has been into some wars and his body's starting to give out on him. Gunnar Nelson, on the meanwhile, took a nice long break, came back, got an easy win over Takashi Sato in London. Is probably going to do the same thing here. He's the hometown kid. He's the one they're trying to push. He's the minus 370 favorite. It's basically close on the feet, basically a wash. Gunner's the better wrestler. Oh, did I mention Brian is sporting like a 50% takedown defense? Yeah, you can't really wrestle. Can't stuff it that well. So the UFC is definitely trying to set up Gunner. Gunner's better wrestler. He's better on the ground. The striking is 50-50. Gunner has 10 times more places to win. He has the better fight name with Gunner. So the pick is going to be Gunner Nelson. The bet is going to be Gunner Nelson. Minus 370 is not good. I can't lock him because it's above my minus 300 threshold, but I can play a bet on him. I can throw him in some parlays. I don't hate it. All right. And then the next fight of the night is one I don't know what to fucking do with. We have Rafael Fiziev as a minus 230 favorite. Come back on Justin Gaethje plus 190. Bro, honestly, I was really excited to bet Fiziev because I thought Justin's popularity was going to make him the favorite, and I was going to capitalize and laugh at the all the way to the bank with Fiziev. When I saw Fiziev was minus 230, I didn't know what to fucking do because he's a phenomenal striker. He's a very, very, very good striker. Okay volume, hits decently hard. His cardio used to be his biggest issue, but he seemed to shore it up a little. He knocked out RDA in the 5th round, so that was a good omen to how his cardio's been. He's a striking coach at Tiger Muay Thai, and Tiger Muay Thai is one of the best striking coaches or striking camps in the world. And if you're a coach there, yeah, your striking's legit. Like this guy's kickboxing and Muay Thai pedigree is legit. Like he is probably one of the best strikers in this weight class. Like he's very, very good. On the flip side, we have Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is a credentialed wrestler. D1 can wrestle his ass off. Just never does it. He wants to stand. He wants to bang. He wants to scrap. That's what he wants to do. He is another one where his cardio, I've seen it fall off and I've seen it look good. You never really know. But this is 3 rounds, so both these guys should be fine. They should be able to just go out there and bang. Gaethje loves a scrap. He doesn't like to fight. He likes to fucking scrap. He goes out there and he throws everything. He throws everything but the kitchen sink. He goes out there and doesn't move his head, not very technical. He literally brawls. It looks like rough and rowdy out there. He drags you into a crazy brawl, and then he excels there. That's what he does. Can he just take you down and excel? Probably. Will he do it? Fuck no. He wants to go out there and strike and be crazy. And that's just his MO. You can't change who Justin is. So, um, on paper, Fiziev is the better striker. It should only be on the feet. So you would assume Fiziev wins, hence him being minus 230. Level of competition, though, Justin Gaethje's fought for a world title 2 or 3 times. Fiziev has not. That's the closest he's gotten. Fiziev is fighting Mark Diakase and 40-year-old RDA and Hanato Moicano. Those are all good fighters, but Justin Gaethje's fighting Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier. Like he's fighting the real deal, Habib. So at that juncture, I'm going to pick Fiziev because I do think Gaethje's not going to wrestle. I think we've seen Gaethje enough to know he thinks he can bang with anyone, and he can. He truly can. Went out there and just stood with Edson Barboza. I don't think this is much different, and he's going to go to do the same. He wasn't with Trevor Whitman then, so I don't know if Whitman's going to tell him otherwise. But once Gaethje gets hit once, he kind of forgets the game plan and wants the brawl. So the pick is going to be Fiziev. The bet, I don't know, man. I mean, Gaethje at plus 190. I think it's a dog or pass situation, so I'm gonna go Justin. But I do think Fiziev wins, so I'll probably just have one Hail Mary play on Justin, just the money line, and leave it at that. And then the next fight of the night is the main event. If you haven't, for whatever reason, give this video a like, give a follow over on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere there's social media, there is a Stats and Stacks podcast. I don't know, man. I've been going back and forth on this fight. We've seen it 3 times. Kamaru Usman's gonna have a 2-inch reach advantage. He's gonna be shorter, but that's a good thing if you want to shoot in on legs and get the takedown. Usman's strength of schedule top notch because he had the belt forever. Usman is a minus 280 favorite coming off a knockout loss to Leon Edwards, who's still a plus 230 dog. Leon's coaches claim that Leon had his first fight or his worst fight in forever and still won. I don't know, man. Is it his worst fight because he just wasn't physically there? Was he tired? Did he have an injury? Or was Usman causing it? Usman was in his face nonstop. Like he was there. He was pressuring. He did not give Leon any space. Yes, Leon won round 1. He went out there and got a takedown. It was a trip, and Usman just didn't see it coming. We saw that if Usman never got taken down, does he have any jujitsu? The answer is no. He has nothing. It's like Gaethje down there. We said the same thing. If Gaethje gets taken down, does he have any jujitsu? We saw it with Habib. The answer was no. He has nothing. So if Leon can get this to the fight to the ground, I mean, he slapped on that body triangle and he looked good round 1. round 2, 3, 4, he got absolutely shit kicked. He literally pressured against the cage, and just got dominated. Kamaru just imposed as well. And then the fifth round, he hit a head kick from hell, headshot, bang. That's it. History writes itself. Look at me now. Leon's cool, man. I like Leon. I think he deserves the title. Do I think Usman's going to come back and take it? Probably. I think he just caught him. But we've been talking about Usman's chin for a very long time. We even talk about other fighters who keep getting rocked but won't go out, and we refer to it as the Usman chin. Dude, Usman's chin is not good. If Colby Covington rocks you multiple times, that's concerning. Gilbert Burns rocked. Tyron Woodley didn't do anything, actually. Um, Jorge rocked. Like, he gets rocked in every single fight. And we said eventually he's going to get put out. Sure enough, Leon found the button. Can Leon find the button again at home? Maybe, man. Leon makes me a believer. I think Usman wins. My mind tells me Usman wins. Again, this is a trilogy. Usman won the first one pretty close. The second one, he was dominating. And then he got caught. And you know what this reminds me of? DC and Stipe. The first one, DC won. Just like Kamaru. No one could say anything. No one could hold against him. Clearly won. Second fight, DC was beating the absolute shit out of Stipe. Then he got tired at the end. Stipe went body and then finished him late. What happened in the Leon Edwards Usman rematch? Usman was beating the shit out of him. Then Leon finished him late. And the third one, we said, you know what? DC's got this. He's probably going to retire soon. But he's just the better fighter. He's won 9 out of the 10 rounds. Let's go, DC. And what happened? He went out there and he lost with Stipe as the dog as champ. And we had the same thing here, trilogy. Usman's won most of these rounds. But his last fight, he got knocked out. And now everyone's saying it was a lucky shot and Leon can't do it again. Maybe it's Leon by decision, like it's like the DC Stipe trilogy. I think this history is going to repeat itself, and Leon is still plus 210. So although I think Usman wins, I've talked myself into Leon, and Leon talked me into Leon. So the pick is Usman, the bet is Leon. And again, I apologize for having to use ESPN, not having the round totals, but we'll make sure we put the best picks up on TikTok. We already have them up on Instagram and Twitter. Glory play, man, play Malcolm Gordon by decision. We're on an island, but they've been hit, baby. Otherwise, UFC 286 should be a banger. Remember that it's on early since it's in London. Don't miss any of these fights, except for maybe the first one you can skip. But outside of that, man, it should be a fun night. And especially when you win money, just makes it even better. Let's get it.